Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the latest model, Grand Seiko High-Beat GMT. This is the SBGJ211, part of the Heritage Collection. The watch is 40 millimeters in what Grand Seiko describes as high-intensity titanium. I call it a grade 5 titanium equivalent in the way it takes a shine and holds it in the face of scratches and scuffs. 40 millimeters, you can see it's the historic 44GS case shape, first pioneered by the 44GS in 1967. This is probably the single most distinctive case in the Grand Seiko quiver of case designs. Easy to wear on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. The 40 millimeter watch is 14.5 millimeters thick, and if you measure it from lug to lug, well, there are two ways to measure it. The lug to lug is 46.3 millimeters. If you include the solid end links of the bracelet, it's a broader 49.9, but still wearable on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Throw it on a strap, and I would say 13.5 centimeters circumference. The timepiece features a Grand Seiko bracelet that is also titanium, and you can see that there is a conforming profile end link that matches the arc of the case and the slope of the lugs. There is an intermediate staggered alignment, staggered size, and as you can see there's a little bit of polished contrast with the principally satin finish, as well as a rolled bevel that transitions from the shoulders to the outer flanks. Satin finish on the outer flanks, as you can see. Pin sleeves used for sizing, that's titanium Grand Seiko. They're always going to use pin sleeves in their titanium bracelets. You can see on the underside though, big gaps to avoid pinching skin, pulling hair, or trapping wrist heat. You'll also appreciate that there are micro links on each side. You can see there's a half link on each side to aid in sizing, and a twin trigger release clasp with a polished and relieved border and Grand Seiko logo. You must depress both triggers to pop it open. It's also lower in profile than a dive clasp, so less likely to scratch during desk diving. The case design itself is a classic with a polyhedron form combining curves and sharp angular facets. Everything that's to high polish is executed to black polish standard, which is to say the same standard you'll see on screws and regulators in Patek Philippe watches and Swiss High Horology, but instead of executing this black polish on small components inside the watch, Grand Seiko artisans render what's called Zaratsu polish on the immense exterior expanses of the case. So you have what is literally a hand-finished case, all black polished, with the case itself pushed against a spinning tin wheel on a Zalitz machine, creating this optically smooth finish, and it's done by eye-hand coordination and experience. So the symmetry of the facets and the micrometric precision with which this case is executed is all a craft art. There is a very thin satin finish through the mid-case. You can see there's an arced and somewhat rounded, almost concave polish on the underside of the lugs and underside of the case on both sides, with the upper face of the lugs, which are highly squared off and angular, beautifully black polished, giving way to a bezel that is inverse conical, that it is wider at the top than at the bottom, sitting nestled in the case, giving way to a sapphire crystal that's slightly box sectioned in its profile and domed over its top, and a dial that almost defies description because I need to really be able to show you its texture. It has a vertical pinstripe pattern embossed on it. It's not silver, it's true white. And as you can see, it features a few well-chosen splashes of blue, the GMT script, the 24-hour GMT scale on the flange outboard, and then the fire-blued steel 24-hour hand. So you have the local hand, which is Dauphine, along with the minute hand. All of the dial finish is hand executed on the furniture level, which is to say everything that's applied to the dial, the Grand Seiko logo, the hands, the indices, the frame for the date, it's all hand finished by other artisans who work only on these micro components, finishing them, creating these facets and this black polish on diamond-tipped milling tools. So you have black polished components on the dial side, hand finished, and black polished case external. Screw down crown, 100 meter water resistance. You've got a high beat movement, and the movement beats away at 36,000 vibrations per hour or 10 beats per second, just like a Zenith El Primero. That's why the watch has a 55-hour power reserve rather than the standard 9S 3 days. 55 hours, still more than an El Primero, and it's 50. A remarkably long power reserve here for a watch that beats away at 36,000 vibrations per hour, thus giving it potentially better precision than a standard 28 8-beat rate watch. 37 joules adjusted in 6 positions rather than the chronometer standard of 5 positions. You can see the case With a sapphire display caseback, caliber 9S86 automatic winding, 12 24-hour format independent dual time. Of course, you have the stop seconds functionality if you want to set the watch to a reference, and then you have the ability to individually step the hour hand forward or backwards as you travel. And if you look, you can even set the date forward or backwards as you cross the international date line. The timepiece, again, 100 meters water resistant. Though it's not loomed, it is in every other regard a very rugged and very versatile timepiece that could easily be considered a sports watch in terms of movement toughness, case toughness with that grade 5 style titanium, 100 meter water resistance, and the general robustness and integrity of Grand Seiko watchmaking. This is a watch that can do it all. See it and make it yours on the Watchbox.